Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the show. I'm your host, Natasha Molina, and today we're going to be here talking with Matt Hamilton, who stars in the Disney Plus reboot of the 1989 Tom Hanks classic, Turner and Hooch. It's going to be premiering this July 16th, and we are just so excited about it. So here he is. How are you, Matt?
Hello. Can you hear those chimes?
We did just hear it right now. It sounds really great.
That's kind of like a round of applause. I kind of felt with that intro. It felt
great.
I was
going to say it was like a good welcoming.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm great, thanks. And actually, little tweak, they moved Turner Hooch to July 21st.
Okay, that's good to know because we are on the lookout for it to finally drop. Yeah. For those who don't know, it's a film adaptation, but they turned it into a series, which is even cooler.
Yeah, that's kind of the new thing where it's like that's where a lot of the talent is going. And so for Turner Hooch, it's going to be less bingeable unless you wait because it's coming out once a week.
Yeah.
which is kind of my favorite, because my favorite was like the water cooler shows, where you watch an episode and then you talk about it with your friends for the next week before the next one comes out. Like the last couple, like Game of Thrones and Breaking Bad were two huge ones for that, when you're like, oh God, Walter White just did this, what's going to happen? Whereas the binging, I enjoy watching more than one episode, but at the same time, when like Stranger Things drops, no one's at the same spot at the same time, so you can't have a conversation about it.
Yeah, so, that makes sense.
Yeah, so that's why I love the once a week model, because it kind of keeps you going.
I do love that they've recently adapted that new model as well to these streaming platforms, because like you said, we're able to actually enjoy the episode as it comes out. We're able to discuss it, think about it, and we're not just moving on so quickly. Because also then you're missing a lot of details if you're just moving on and you're not soaking everything in. So this is something we're really excited for. And I wanted to ask you, it being such a huge classic movie back then, a family favorite and all, and now being adapted to a series, how do you think it's evolved for today's viewers?
Well, I think it kind of, because it's not just a reboot, it's kind of a continuation. So Josh Peck is the main dude. He plays Tom Hanks's character's son from the original, and so they're kind of continuing the story with the same kind of thing. It's not like the movie is, I'm not sure if you've revisited it, but it's a little darker than, I remember it as a kid. I loved it because I loved action stuff. So it's a little darker than I recall. I was like, oh, right. So it's not quite as dark as that, but it's the same tone. It's like the action comedy really leans into the comedy. Yeah. So I think it can reach a broader audience. And it's a show that a lot of people could be into, because it's got the action procedural stuff. It's got the comedy, and it's really funny. It's really funny. And they really encouraged you to lean into the comedy on the show, which is kind of unique. And it's got stuff like, younger people love to watch the dog and him destroy stuff and slobber on people, which, by the way, that slobber is real and it is disgusting.
Oh my God. Yeah. We can't wait to see everybody get slobbered on then. That's going to be even more amazing knowing it's real.
Yeah.
So does he slobber on command?
No, it never stops. It's like a waterfall. It's just always slobbering. And it's so funny because in between setups, we'll have to the dog will have to, there's one scene where he's getting in my face. He was supposed to slobber all over me, and I was part petrified about it, because once I realized that it's actual slobber, it's not like a special effect. I was oh, this is gonna be disgusting. But he couldn't fit all the way up in the car, so he just got on the shoulder, so I was fine with it. But between every scene, you have to reset and wipe everything down and this and that. And in between setups, I'll pet Hooch and play with him a little bit, and it's oh, my entire leg is covered in slobber. Now we got to wipe that down. So it's really so funny.
Cute. It would have been really great if that scene happened the way it was supposed to, and you had to keep on reshooting. That would have been fantastic. Oh my God, that's so hilarious though. Tell us a little bit more about your character now, because you are, what is the role? It's senior deputy to Josh Peck's character, right?
Right. Yeah. So his name's Trent Havelock, and he's kind of like the bro-y super douche hero cop, or U.S. Marshal. And so he's the dude who he's that guy. He was the captain of the football team in high school, and
we know the type.
Yeah. And so he gets all the good collars, he gets all the awards, he gets all the good stuff. And he doesn't mesh with Turner, because Turner's such an awkward, bumbling idiot. Yeah, take that, Josh. And but he's funny. So it's not like he's a pure dickhead.
He's not like a real jerk or whatever.
No, like I tried to bring like a little more like humor to it. So
okay, so we're not gonna hate your character.
You might actually. I don't know. Like I'm saying this. Hopefully, hoping like, oh no, this is whatever. Some people might, because I kind of give Josh the gears a little bit.
Gotcha.
Like, because Josh has a huge fan base, so they're probably all over me. But
yeah.
But no, I think I thought it's fun. He's kind of a friendly foil, so to speak. So he's kind of a pain in the ass for the main people, but he is essentially a good guy.
That's amazing. I love that the relationship that yours and Josh Peck's character have on screen also translates into real life, because I mean, as we're hearing from you right now, and then seeing you on social media actually going on to say how you miss tormenting Josh and all that, we want to know more. Like, we love the banter and everything. We love the bromance kind of that has grown from this series. So let's talk a little bit about that. I want to know what's this tormenting consist of.
It was so. Working with him was a lot of fun. A lot of my stuff is with him. Like, we get partnered together, and my character always hates it. And so because they encourage a lot of improvisation on the show, and Josh he's a really funny dude. We got to do a lot of fun stuff, but it ended up being, because Josh, he's also the dude who always cracks first, like always, almost without fail.
And that laughter is really contagious too.
Yeah. And then it turns into this thing where we're both trying to keep a straight face in the scene. But no, it was a lot of fun. We really got along. He's a great actor, and he did a great job. Like, his job on the show, I'm gonna give him shit in a second. I just want to praise him very briefly. Josh, Don't get used to this. Josh, don't get used to this if you're listening. He almost had no days off while we're working. I mean, aside from the weekends. And those dogs, those are huge, gigantic, just 150 pounds of muscle. So his hands were all calloused up, and from just like the thing, and it's tiring and it's sore, and the dude never complained. He always had a good attitude. He was always fun to work with. So it was a lot of fun, but bullying him was also really fun. Getting to bug his character.
Tell us about the bullying behind the scenes and everything.
Yeah. I mean, because we shot in a pandemic, so we didn't get to really do any outside work stuff, because we were doing COVID tests 3 times a week and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, he was a lot of fun. I actually just was chatting to him this morning very briefly. But yeah, I think you guys are going to really enjoy our rapport.
We're so excited for it. We really are. I'm so excited, especially again, seeing your guys' bromance on screen and off screen. It's just gonna make it that much better when we're actually seeing your characters, because it's kind of that's how you guys are with each other in real life. So
yeah. Wow. I'm not that much of a dick in real life.
Okay, not that much.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's fun. It's fun. It's a good time.
And it's definitely a different kind of role than we're used to seeing you in. You've done so many incredible things. You've been on the Babysitters Club.
Sorry, did you say incredible things?
Yes,
have you seen them?
Did.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
I mean, you were a part of some pretty great projects. You've been on Supernatural, on Marvel's Legion, the Babysitters Club. I mean, so many other things. So yeah, I would say incredible. Don't sell yourself.
Yeah. Those are cool. Those are
super cool. And we definitely, obviously, have to talk about them, because if not, I feel like all the Supernatural fan bases and all of these fan bases will definitely come for me if we don't talk a little bit about it.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. What can you tell us about that whole experience?
Well, Supernatural, aside from Turner and Hooch, is my favorite thing I've ever done, just because, one, it's the biggest thing I've ever done, but also I got to do a lot of stuff and get to build a character throughout the year. But Supernatural was, I posted this on Instagram, and it's kind of this thing that everyone talks about, but it was the best set to be on. I did a couple episodes. The first one I had, I split. I had 3 days with Jared, 3 days with Jensen, and those dudes are the raddest, nicest guys. And I mean that in the sense that they make everyone feel welcome. They always have a good attitude. And listen, we work in an industry where you can have people who, it's not everyone's going to be in a good mood. Not everyone's a nice person. It's long days.
Especially being on a big series like that
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. And so add to the mix that, these guys have been doing it for, I think I first showed up in season 9. So they've been doing it for 9 years. It's really easy to get jaded and cynical and get tired. Like, how many times do you read actors leaving a show because, part of the human condition is to be challenged, right? So like, once you get comfortable with something, like, what's the next step? It's like, oh, I want to be on a show. I want to be a series regular on a show. Oh, I want to be in a movie. I want to be in an Academy Award winning movie, like that kind of stuff, So, and then naturally that, you feel stuck, but they never did. I came back. Actually, I didn't have any scenes with them. I chatted with them briefly, but I came back like 4 years later I got killed again in the show. And yeah, they're so awesome. And my buddy was on that show the last couple of years, and I always do like a fake feud on his Instagram to get his fans riled up, Alex Calvert. So I like trolling his fans, and they get all.
I think you just like trolling in general, huh?
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Maybe I'm not so different from my character on Hooch. And then Legion is really cool. I was supposed to be a recurring character on that. I was in the pilot, and then the series got delayed. And I think it went. I can't totally remember, but I think it went from like 12 episodes to 8. So they condensed it. So they just mentioned my character, my last couple episodes I was supposed to be in. Although, like, it wasn't a huge character to begin with. I didn't know much about it when I got it. I was just like, oh, this is Marvel. Awesome. And
that's exactly what my mindset would have been as well. It doesn't really matter what kind of part it is. If you're part of something Marvel, that's amazing.
It was going to be really cool. And then Noah Hawley, who does Fargo, is a genius. Anyway, so I read the pilot and I was like, what the hell? Because it's nothing like you'd seen in Marvel, what I was expecting. So then I reread it with that. And it's like, and that show's such an interesting, weird show. And Dan Stevens is one of the raddest dudes I've worked with. He was so cool. And, but then season 2, they moved to LA, and they tried to bring me down, but they couldn't get a work visa in time for me. So I have to do all that shit. So they needed me down in like 2 weeks or a week or whatever it was, and they couldn't get it in time, which was kind of a bummer. I think it was just one episode in the second season. I don't even know how long if that character came back in the third season, but it was it was fun. It was just fun to be part of something, like, especially something so big. Where I've been doing a lot of like smaller stuff, or like I was on like, a lot of these TV movies where you rip through like 7 to 10 pages a day you film, which is kind of nuts. Whereas it was a show where it's like the first day I worked, we shot like 2 pages.
Oh, wow.
And no one's in a rush. Everyone's just kind of hanging. They're not worried about stuff. No, and Noah Hawley is like so chill and so cool. Like, I always like to improv or bring options or stuff like that, but I always like ask the director first, because some writers don't want their shit changed, which I get it.
Yeah.
and he was just like, I'm like, hey, do you want me to do something different? Try this? He's like, no, it's good. Just keep going. The script. I'm like, okay.
So it was just more like a chill set and everything. That's really great. So you were able to like actually enjoy the process of filming. So that's great.
Yeah, it was cool. And then what was the other one you said?
It was the Babysitter's Club.
Yeah, that was fun. That was that was kind of a smaller one, but my team and I decided it's probably a good idea just to get in with Netflix.
Yeah, for sure. It was popular. I think it definitely had some popularity. Off of the series,
it was really well received. But that girl who played one of my daughters, oh my God, I forget her name. She was a maniac. She was hilarious. But if you watch that scene, I come in and I pick her up, and that was my decision to pick her up and hold her. And it's like, okay, now I have to do this for every scene. And like my arm was getting tired, but she was so funny. Like, she had so much energy. And so she'd be like, I'd be doing the scene, trying to talk to in the scene, I'm talking to some police officers, and she's like scratching at my beard and picking at my beard. And then I'm like, Kate, well, let's not do that. Let's try one without that. And then so now we're doing a scene, and she's like whispering my lines in my ear before I say them. And it was such a chaotic energy on set, because you got all these kids that are different ages. And so when you're shooting, there's only a certain amount of time you can shoot for before kids get a break. And so they're trying to shoot the stuff they can get, and then whatever stuff they can get from you. So the kids are the most important part, because they're the main things of the story. And so then there's like, okay, Matt, let's just get one. It's like, okay, boom, done. It's like, yeah, great, moving on. I'm like, really? I kind of, you always kind of want like maybe a little more, but whatever. They seem fine, but it was fun. Those kids were really sweet. The main girls from the show, they helped calm my daughter down. They're like, hey, let's try one where we don't pick at Matt's face, because she wouldn't listen to me.
Yeah.
But it was a blast though.
Yeah.
It was a blast. And then Rebecca Johnson from Glow. She was is it Johnson? Sorry, Rebecca. She's from Glow. She was awesome. She was so funny. We didn't like share a scene, but we were hanging out together in between. Really cool person, and good people involved in that show. So I'm happy it's doing well.
Well, we're so happy to hear that you've been able to enjoy all of these amazing experiences that you've been a part of. And now adding on to the long, incredible catalog of projects that you have, under your belt is Rise and Shine Benedict Stone, a project that you were currently working on. And we want to hear all about it. And we want to hear when we're going to be able to see it.
Good question. Yeah, so this is it's a movie I'm filming right now. And it's shooting in Victoria, and it's going to be on the Hallmark channel, but Hallmark's trying to rebrand itself to do kind of more real stories with real performances and real stakes and stuff like that. So it's exciting to be part of that. So I've done a fair number of these kind of movies, and mostly it's kind of the same old thing. And listen, people love that stuff. So, why would they stop changing it? But this one seems different. So Tom Everett Scott's the main dude. I play as a stranger brother, and then my daughter runs off to him, and she's played by Ella Valentine, and she's incredible. My God, having somebody who's like half your age and is twice the actor of you is intimidating. But
she's motivating as well in a way.
Yeah. But she's so good, and Tom is like a rad dude, and a friend of mine, Peter Benson, he's directing it. And I got this is the last week of it, so I think it's gonna be good. But you never know with these with movies, right?
Yeah, but how has the experience been on set?
What's that?
How has the experience been on set?
It's been great. It's a lot of fun, and it's a different character for me. I get to play he's a little darker. He's kind of angry, and a lot of my characters I infuse humor in it, and I'm jokey and this and that. So this is different. I'm not doing that at all. It's more serious and hurt and angry and stuff like that. So that's been fun. And then the weather's been incredible here in Victoria, BC, where we're filming, and so that's been nice for all our exterior stuff. So that's been great. So it's been an awesome time. And then I'm gonna finish this and head up to Kelowna and shoot another thing, which I don't know when that'll come out or what the deal is with that. But going to another beautiful place, get some golfing in, hang out on the lake. It's great.
That sounds great. You get to enjoy yourself in between, and we just love that you're working back to back to give us new amazing things to watch during this kind of end of the pandemic that we're still in. We're all at home watching TV and enjoying some movies and some new series, and for you to be a part of it is just amazing. So thank you, Matt. Of course. Well, thank you so much for joining us here on the show and talking to us a little bit about all of your incredible roles that you've been a part of, all of these amazing projects. Turner and Hooch is going to be coming out this July, so make sure you all stay tuned at home, and we can catch Matt bullying Josh Peck on set.
That's right. Yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.